probably to start it and go with it. So take a second to think. Get my bearings. Okay, yeah, that's a pretty good start. We got some laughter in there, and we're gonna go. And podcast is rolling, guys. Thank you so much for joining us on another episode of Always Making. We are joined in the studio with new guests, Sauced Up Salsa with Jessica and George. And so we're talking artisanal salsa today and like the art form of making salsa. But before we get into your guys' whole conversation and how it all got started for you guys, I do want to do some housekeeping. When this episode comes out, we will be up at Craft Lake City's Holiday Market in Ogden at Union Station. That is December 6th and 7th. If you guys want to come out and check that out, we are going to be giving away some free t-shirts for some of the first, I think we're going to say 25
customers Friday and
Saturday. Yeah. So we got some giveaways, but we got some cool stuff going out for that. We will be also in Midvale on the 14th for Light Up Main Street. And that will be everything that we have going on through the holiday season.
Yep.
But we're in the holiday crunch now and ready to go. And you guys are in your guys' holiday crunch. Yeah. And what's it, 2-3 shows a weekend for you guys?
Yeah. The holidays definitely slow down a lot, but it's still very busy. Yeah, we got the stores that we're in, and then Black Friday, Cyber Monday did pretty well for us, so we got to get into the kitchen this week.
Yeah, so we're just recording right after the big push and everything for it. So, but before we get into all that, Jessica, George, introduce yourselves. You guys are making some bomb ass salsa and everything. So
thank you.
All right. So how did it all get started for you guys?
I'm George, and then this is Jessica. We both,
I had it backwards. I was going the other way with it. I thought you were Jessica, she was George. My bad.
But no, it kind of started when we wanted to spend more time together, and then it also started kind of around the same time that I was really heavily traveling and competing in jiu-jitsu and training in like mixed martial arts. And I was thinking, well, maybe I should try to eat healthy and bring my family to eat healthier. So we should eat more fruits and veggies. And one way we can do that would be salsa. We couldn't find a sauce that we liked locally or anything. And then I had a vision of what I wanted for us. And I went on like a rabbit hole for like a year of just reading about sauce.
He literally didn't sleep at night. He was like, we need to get a pH balance reader. I was like, okay.
I don't know what that is, but okay.
Yeah, I was like, what does it do? I was like, really?
It tests the pH balance. I'm on board, George. I get it. I totally know.
Yeah. And like we started by selling to just like obviously like how everyone else starts out is like friends, family, online or orders over like Facebook, and we were doing it out of our townhouse in Bountiful. Like I would grill on the grill like every chance I got that I wasn't at my other job. And even so much that the UPS guy was like, "You're grilling a lot. Every time I come here, you got something going on." I was like, "Yeah." And then we got super lucky. We started in December of 2020. By April of 2021, I found us a commercial kitchen that was super cheap, especially for commercial kitchens. If you have a food business, you know that commercial kitchens are not cheap and they are messy and you have to share with a bunch of people. Anyways, and so I found a commercial kitchen for us, and then ever since then we just like took off. Like every farmer's market we were at, we were selling out. And I think the unique thing about us is that we make fire roasted salsa that is more authentic than you will find at like any grocery stores or even at some restaurants. Like we get a lot of people that are from Texas, Arizona, New Mexico, Southern California, that they are salsa,
connoisseurs.
Yes. And so like they're like, dang, this is good, and I think that is also what's special about us is because Utah is becoming popular. A lot of people want to move here, raise their families. The economy is great here, especially for small businesses, and so a lot of people are moving from like Texas, California, New Mexico to Utah, and they can't find anything good, especially salsa wise. So we're here for them,
Yeah. So from those, just real quickly, for those people who aren't familiar with Utah heat levels, there is such a thing as Utah spice, which means none at all. None.
No, that's our original. OG. I tell people that. I'm like, are you from Utah? Yeah. I'm like, okay, then original.
Start with this one.
Work your way up. Yeah.
even that sometimes is too spicy for people. But I'm like, I don't know. I don't know what to tell you then.
So culinary background, or just like just kind of learned and just went with it and took a gamble?
I mean, I guess I've always cooked, so I've cooked ever since I could remember.
Your family.
My family's always cooked, and then I grew up and I was by myself a lot, so I learned how to cook and I played with stuff, and then so I didn't really I wasn't scared to try stuff in the kitchen. And then I worked at a few like pizza restaurants, so I knew what you need for like certain things, and so I kind of just meshed everything and worked out.
Yeah. I was gonna say the highest I've ever had was being like a fry cook at Flying J.
So for people who don't know, Flying J is a gas station.
Yeah, I was gonna say, so that's the most I've ever gotten. And I worked at Domino's for maybe like a week when I was like 16. But yeah,
with salsa, like there's a wide variety of like options, but you guys are not just doing the salsa thing, you are also doing the freeze dried salsa thing as well, and you're also doing like chips as well that go with it. So what did it just go, hey, we need something new and like start, or does it all from kind of the like brainchild at the beginning, we're like, we're gonna give the complete package?
So I think it kind of a little mix of everything, but I think initially like what happens was we just started with the fresh and it did so well, and at the time we were doing store-bought chips, and like Costco. It just it just they weren't good, and so we're just like, you know what?
And the thing about a good a good thing about a tortilla chip, or a good tortilla chip, is you don't want it to break inside your salsa. Our salsa's kind of thick, so we were trying to look for something that was a thicker chip. And yet again, you can't find that at the store. And so
we're like, we should make something. And we worked and figured out what we liked and what we didn't like.
Yeah. And we found the chips.
We found our chips.
And then at first, like when we first started our first year, we only had 3 flavors. It was mild, medium, hot. And then somebody was like, oh, you should try the mango habanero because everyone makes a mango habanero. And I was like, okay. And George, genius, made it in like an hour. And I was like, yeah, that's great. And like, it was like one of our top sellers, and it won, what was that, at Sauce Lake City? It won
number 2
best salsa at Sauce Lake City.
Yeah.
And
awesome.
But anyways, and then it moved on to, we met somebody at the Ogden Farmers Market, and he was like, I want a pineapple salsa. And I was like, okay, like when we're still kind of new, so I was like, George was like, I'll try it and
we're
do
small enough to still take like requests, like custom orders from
so George was like, I'll try it, and then we loved it, and so we end up making that a flavor. And he still comes and sees me every Ogden Farmers Market, and I give him a little salsa to compensate. I was like, thank you for
suggesting that one.
Yeah. And then the fire roasted tomatillo as well. George made it in 30 minutes at our kitchen, because I was like, we need to have a tomatillo salsa. Everyone keeps asking. And George was like, okay, made it in 30 minutes. I was like, that's good.
It was a stressful 30 minutes though.
It was.
30 minutes.
He accidentally put way too much salt in it, and I was like, that's really salty.
So we had to go and like restart. It was a lot of different like errors.
It was
but we got it down in 30 minutes. I got it down.
Okay. Yeah. So we're left with our 6 flavors now. We used to have mild. We cut that one out. So now we have original, we have medium, we have hot, we have mango habanero, sweet heat pineapple, and our fire roasted tomatillo.
Okay. So you are making salsa and coming up with new things in less than an hour, it sounds like, for most of your like things. What is your process for that creative like outlet? Like what makes you go, okay, I'm gonna go here, and then 30 minutes later, I've got a bomb ass salsa that like people are loving. Like, how does that work for you?
Well, it wasn't like just overnight. I mean, I did read up and study for a year of like what goes into sauce, what doesn't go, what works, what doesn't work, and so a lot of the stuff that said, oh well, this doesn't work, I was like, I'm gonna try that, and so I was just like, let's try stuff that doesn't work and let's make it work for us, and that's kind of how it started. And then I made. Probably like a good like 80 sauces. Like I made a lot of sauce just trying to before I got it. And even when we like came out, we were still tweaking stuff. Like it still wasn't 100%. But like once I figured out, okay, you know what? Let me start from scratch. Let me take a breather. What would I do if I was an artist, or what would I do if I was, this?
Well, okay, to be fair, you are an artist. Like,
Right.
like that is
Right,
like let's
right.
get that straight. Like culinary art,
Right.
it's in the thing. You are a food artist. That's
Okay,
like, let's be
thank you.
fair.
So I was thinking, like, if I was making music again or something, what would I be doing? I'm like, I would go maybe step by step. I would go slow and maybe like, and so I was like, okay, well, I need a bass, I need tomatoes, I need this, and then I kind of just went from there. And I played with ratios, I played with like boiling, I played with the fire roasting. We played with like fire roasting some and not. It was just a lot of different things. And then once I finally spent a year or so tinkering with different recipes and spices and seasonings and all these things, and I was like, okay, I think I got it. And then it just lined up in my brain where I could sit down and just go, okay, I need this, and this. This is a good base, and I can tweak it off that. So I could probably sit down and create another one and just say, okay, this would be a good base. This is what we're going for. This is the vibe. This is the pressure points I want to hit on your tongue, and then kind of go off that.
Okay.
And so like you kind of you grow you grow as you grow, right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah. And to be fair, I mean that's most people, it takes time. I mean, I know it makes it sound like overnight success, but you guys have been doing this we're going on the 4th year now of this whole process, almost into the 5th year for you guys.
And then we did 2 years before we even
Before you even did
like a long time ago when we first got together. That's kind of how this started. So George, like, he started training jiu-jitsu, but also he was just like making salsa, and that's when it like, yeah, sorry to be so confusing.
No,
but yeah,
no,
like 6 years ago, like that's when we were in this little house in like the middle of downtown Salt Lake, and they had a gas burner stove, and that's how George was like, well, I'm gonna fire roast because there's fire right there. And then anyways, and we made like a good grip of money that month that we went to San Francisco, and then when we got back we kind of just forgot about it, and then 2020 hit.
And people were still asking.
They were still asking, but we had our jobs still, and we're just like,
and it wasn't
like, like we didn't think anything of it, like that we could make a whole business out of it. Like we just thought, oh, we got money, let's go to San Francisco. We came back, we just started working our jobs again. But then 2020 hit, and that's when we were like, I hated my job, he hated his job, might as well, go and try and do this. And so I quit my job, and he was like, you quit your job? And I was like, I did. He was like, well, you have a month, and if this doesn't work out, then, and it worked out. I haven't been employed since. I have self-employed, but yeah.
And so both you guys are full-time salsa
dealers, yeah.
Yeah, and that's the
jug of choice.
You got the goods.
Yeah, we do.
Yes.
The salsa plugs, yep.
So let's go back to the first show that you did.
Mm-hmm.
And how was that experience? Because you're still doing them now. You guys are splitting your time. One's going one way, another one's going another way, kind of thing. And then you guys do have some employees as well that do kind of come in and help and give you guys breaks and sometimes take on stuff. So, but like that first show, what was that experience like for you guys?
It was the one in Tooele.
It was in Tooele. It was in Tooele. It was.
So we're from Tooele.
Tooele. We're gonna be at Tooele like this coming week. Like
Yes.
they've been diehard homies. We've been.
It's the people that own the Asylum 49, so the haunted house.
Okay.
It's Kelly and his wife, Michaela. And Michaela owns like the market portion. Kelly owns the haunted house, the Asylum 49. And so ever since forever, they've just let us come. And
they heard what we were doing and invited us out.
That was our first market. And it was okay. Like, it was very a learning experience.
It was a lot of learning.
Like, we learned we need to stand behind our table, like
and
on the sides,
and not block it.
Not block it. Like, but it was like very eye opening that I was like, I can do this. Like, we can make money. We could survive. Like, very much. I don't know. Like the support from because we're from Tooele, so we had a lot of support. Like we had a lot of friends and family come and see us and buy stuff from us just because they were and then sampling also. We got our sampling down. Like
we didn't have samples, and people were like, "Well, you're new, so can I taste it?" I'm like,
oh,
yeah,
that's
like
a good
we're
idea.
Yeah,
right.
I didn't even think of that.
Sampling. Okay, so you want to taste it? Okay,
Right.
I was like, okay.
Yeah, it's completely changed. I think we even still have a picture of when
I
we
do have a
first did
picture.
it.
I'm just
Yeah.
my hair's short, is.
I think it was around Christmas time as well too. I'm pretty sure. Yeah, it was right before Christmas. But anyways, yeah, it was really good. It was honestly very eye opening that I was like, this could work for us.
So I'm like, well, people show up for us, and people were showing up, and then strangers were wanting to try, and we're like, okay, well, if we improve, then maybe we'll do better.
Yeah.
And so we still do, we still try to improve stuff, but for the most part, it was definitely a learning experience. It was fun. It was a fun time.
So your next show, how much has changed from that first show to the one you've got this weekend coming? Kind of thing.
Samples.
Sampling has been through an evolution. Honestly it's been through a lot between the chips as well as the sauce, like how we present it to people, keeping it safe for others, because our big thing is safety.
Yeah.
And so I'm really big on like, let's be safe for everyone, right?
Yeah.
Even that, just presentation, the products we offer, the quality that we offer, the consistency that we're able to bring to the customers now, based on when we were just starting out and doing it out of our home. Now that we have our own facility, it's just everything's just been a lot better. People are liking the quality a lot more, just because she has a system down that's a good system. So
yeah, for the first like 3 years, because we worked out of a commissary kitchen, I worked at night by myself because we do have a daughter. And so I let George be at home for the night, and then I would work from like 10:30 to about 7:30 in the morning, and then I would go home. I'd sleep for a couple of hours. I'd get up, and me and George would get whatever we needed done, go pick up our daughter from school, and I would do the whole thing over again for the like first 3 years of our business. And so that's definitely changed, because now we have our own kitchen. I can work during the day. I don't have to stay up all night. We still can like provide for our daughter, but also be there for her after and before school. And also like the markets just have been different since our first market, because just like our customer base has changed. The way the sales, I've never been a good salesperson, and then I had to come up with like a sales pitch to people. Besides, buy my salsa, please. And so like that has changed. I have to learn, like I got to really talk to people and really like engage with them for them to come to my booth and actually like like buy my stuff. I gotta like make sure
you have a good experience.
Yes, exactly.
When they come, not just hey, sauce. That's what it was at first. You didn't know what to say. You were just, hey, we have salsa.
We got it if you want it.
Do you need some? I have some. But I think we've grown a lot too since then. So it's cool to see where we started and how we were to now. I was like the same but different in many ways. So it's fun.
The process has gotten easier with experience, with time. First show probably took some like nerves to kind of get up and out to it and go through the motions. Now, the conversations we have in the morning when we're doing shows together and everything, you're like, I'm tired, and but you're pulling the cooler out, you're getting the table set, you're still doing it, and that's really cool to see, because it's. Again, we're talking multiple years in, and you still have this drive, this passion, this want to like sell and make and create. Like, what keeps you guys going? Like, beside it just being your business, why keep doing it?
Because I don't want to go back to anyone else.
I do not want to work for anyone. I clashed a lot.
Like I was always like one of the top salesmen or the top employee at like the companies I was at. Even when like my bosses would be like, no, these people are better than you. I'm like, all right, well, we have a competition coming up. We'll see. And sure enough, I would always take first, and then we'd always clash because I had to get bored, and I get bored really fast. Like the job would become easy. So eventually I was just like, I'm over it. So I don't want to go back to that. She doesn't want to go back to, having to do that. And then us not being able to like pick up our daughter. That was our main thing, was we wanted to be present parents.
So yeah, like, because we had Kenny when we were pretty young. I was only 19 when I got pregnant, and George was 23, 24. And so like I don't know, like, so I've always been working in like, different jobs here and there. I worked at a daycare so I could be with my daughter, and like, and then when she started kindergarten, I was just like, I don't want to work for anybody. And just like George, we both have been so rebellious at both jobs. Like, we've always called out our bosses. We've always like, when something's wrong, we're the first ones to be like, what?
Why is
like,
there an issue?
Yeah, what? Like, why are you treating people like that? Like, everyone, And so like, I've learned that people that have their own businesses, like, like most of them are so defiant towards their like bosses. And like I learned that. I definitely have, because I was like, that's me and George. Yeah, because we just work well for ourselves. Like, I don't know. That's just how I feel. But yeah.
Yeah, we can get a lot done just us two. We'll sit down for 10 minutes and plan, and then we get going, and it's we get it done. Yeah, it was just stressful going into like work and having someone else tell you like something, or they're like, we need you to train your boss. I'm like, well, if I'm training my boss, give me the position. Why am I training somebody else to tell me?
It was almost like
weird.
it just like, it's just obviously not like this for everybody that works, but like for both of us, it was just almost like it led up to us just being like, let's just work for ourselves. We just constantly are having problems. Let's just work for ourselves. Let's just do it. Why not? What's the worst that can happen?
And then we're like, well, we're struggling. Everyone's struggling at their jobs now. Why not go and try our own thing and
struggle for our
struggle
own
for
selves,
ourselves?
Yeah, exactly.
I'm like, I'm bringing in millions of dollars for this company, and I don't feel valued, or my coworkers don't feel valued, and they don't like when we speak up. So instead of me being in a place where I'm not appreciated for like my talents or anything, we can create our own opportunities, and that's what we've been doing, trying.
Yeah,
trying
and succeeding. I was
going to say, I think you're doing more than trying.
Yeah, more than trying on that side of things. With the like future of it, like, what are we thinking? Like more flavors, bigger like storefront? Like what is the big picture for salsa? Because at some point, I mean, you could hire people and send them out to shows. You guys don't have to do the weekend shows kind of thing, that hustle of that side of things as it grows. But is there a bigger picture at the moment, or right now are you just going, let's get weekend by weekend and just kind of keep driving what we got going right now?
No, we definitely want to expand. Right now it's this last year was just create internal strengths, and that's what we've been doing. And I think now we're ready to expand more. We slowly branched out, but I think coming up we want to do more with our freeze-dried salsa, because that's just been fun to do lately. And then we also want to expand more into other territories, whether it's a different state or more
I was gonna say, I think that's what we're leaning towards is George 2 weekends ago went to Vegas, sold out of all of the freeze-dried, and everyone was like, this is amazing, I've never heard of this. Okay. I went to Colorado.
So let's pause on that right there. Sorry? Because no, like the freeze-dried salsa, like that's not something I've heard of before we met you guys, kind of thing. Like, you're going to other places, so what made you decide to freeze dry your salsa?
So I was traveling, and we went to a competition, and like I would bring my salsa with me because it was healthy, and I don't eat McDonald's or anything. And so
I've been McDonald's free since 2015.
Yeah, we haven't. Yeah, we haven't. Yeah, same. We don't go. We haven't been in. I can't remember the last time we went, and so I was like, well, I want to eat something. I don't know what's there, and I can't gain weight because I have to make weight. So I'm like, well, when I start eating again, maybe I should bring like my sauce. And then eventually, I was talking to someone about it, and they're like, well, you should try freeze drying. And I was like, well, that's weird. I was like, I don't weird. Like the candy stuff. And I was like, I don't know how that would be with like my sauce. And someone's like, well, I have one. If you want, give me a salsa and I'll try it for you. And they did it. And they give it back to me, and I was like, this is a salsa? And they're like,
I remember seeing it. He gave it to me at the farmer's market, and I was like, this is so weird.
And I was like, look, this is a sauce. And I was just staring at it, and I was like, okay, well, now that I have this in my hand, what can I do with it? And then my mind was just took off with different things, and I was just like, okay, I can do something with this.
Because that's what you put on your flavored chips. That you have as well, right?
Yes.
Our flavored chips are coated in our freeze dry, so it's like a healthy Dorito. So instead of dye, it's just like Roma tomatoes, and onions and garlic, and it's cool. It's good.
So, how else? Like, what other uses have you guys come up with for freeze dried salsa?
Freeze dry's fun. So my favorite thing,
smoking your meat.
Smoke your meat.
Yeah. Snaps.
Yeah. My brother-in-law has a smoker. He's a big, into the seasoning and stuff. Yeah. Yeah.
We've done ribs. People have done burnt ends. People have done whole pigs, turkeys, chicken. Like, we've done the chicken.
I like sour cream and cream cheese.
I did deviled eggs.
My soups. Deviled eggs. I did deviled eggs.
You guys are like opening up
Spanish
a whole
rice
world to me with this, because I'm like, I was just thinking when like I saw the signs for freeze dried salsa, it's like, oh, we're like going camping and I'm just gonna throw it in some water and like rehydrate and like eat some salsa kind of thing.
Yeah, you can do that too. We've done that. Camping.
But that's like simple stuff. Like, you guys are just saying there's so much more to it.
Yeah. I mean, because most people are like, well, I can take this camping and backpacking, hiking. We've had people take it to other countries or like treks, in the jungle with tons of people, and they've always been like, this was our highlight of the trip. This
That's
boosted
awesome.
morale, and like I can't even tell you, we're in the middle of the jungle, and it's the middle of the night, and we were all surrounded by the fire eating mango habanero salsa. This is delicious, and they're like, this was the coolest thing. And so I was like, all right, well, besides that, what can I cook with this? Because I like to cook.
Yeah.
And so it grew into stuff. And so now we give out recipes to people at the markets, or if people message us all the time and they're like, hey, we heard you have a Spanish rice recipe. Can we get that? And I'll send it over to them. And
So
Sauced Up Salsa cookbook.
yeah, my thought, that's
Yeah.
where my head went right
Yep.
off the bat. I'm like, oh, cookbooks in the works. So
we're just trying to feed people, good food. And if we can incorporate the salsa, then I'd like to do that.
Yeah.
with market shows where so for people who haven't listened to the podcast, like what we like to do is inspire people to potentially take on what you guys have done. You guys have taken that step. You guys have, I like to say, put yourself in a vulnerable position, because it's very hard to know if they're going to go, oh man, this salsa is great. It could have been a whole different story. We might have not been talking to you guys if you made a bad salsa.
Right. Right.
Exactly.
But you guys have made a salsa, and you've grown and continue to grow with it, and continue, and the passion that you have for it, you can see it and hear it in this conversation alone, not only just when you're at the shows and everything. But with that, I lost my train of thought of where I was going with that question.
I think we're trying to get into the question of what advice do you have maybe for other people who
yes.
are
Oh, got you.
maybe kind of hesitant
Do
on
it!
that edge. Yeah,
Do it!
Yeah,
what do we do?
definitely do it. Someone asked that the other day on Facebook, and they were like, do you have any advice? Because I don't have any money. I don't have this. And I was like, yeah, just go.
I'm like, we literally started with
I started with like $50, and I
Yeah.
bought the name and the LLC, and I was like, cool, we got something going. Let's just figure out the rest, And I did make a bad salsa. I made a bunch, and that's what led me to make a good one. And so you'll mess up, you'll fumble, you'll think oh, I'm wasting
The
all my
biggest
money,
thing is
but
just starting.
yeah,
You just gotta
start.
There's one, I cannot remember her business name right now, which is embarrassing, but she just started. Her name is Emily. I think it's ESP Apothecary or something like that. But I talked to her at the Salt Lake Farmers Market, and she was like, I really want to do my business, but I'm scared. And I was like, why? I was like, just do it. You have a supportive partner. I was like, you're in the best position to do it. You don't have a job right now. You're making it already. You're trying to sell it. It's the best position possible. And she's been doing the Brighton Farmers Market or the Brighton Flea Market. She's been at all the markets that I've been at, and she's like, I only started because of you, because you told me to.
Yeah.
She's like, I owe it to you because you're the one that was pushed me and was like, no, yeah, you could do it. And I don't know. I talked to everybody at the farmers market, and I'm like, do it.
Yeah.
Just do it. I don't know. The best advice I can give you is be scared and do it anyways.
We were
The
scared every
worst
day,
case
so
scenario for
we
us
still
is
do
to
it.
go back to a normal job. It's
Yeah.
what's people's normal
Yeah.
is our worst case scenario. So,
Yeah. But why accept normal? That's
Exactly.
the thing.
Yeah.
Why accept
this
normal?
life is way too short.
Right, because I've never been normal. I've been in positions where I'm like, okay, I can definitely do more with my potential. And even for her, she's always been a hard worker, and I'm like, we could do more. Together we
For
could
sure,
do
yeah.
something. Even by yourself, you
Yeah.
could definitely make a lot of stuff happen. You just have to not be afraid to fail.
Yeah.
I think that's also people look at us and they're like, well, you have it easy because you have a partner. And I'm like, a lot of people do it by themselves. A lot of people, maybe even just find a good friend to start with, or, I don't know. It's like Taylor from the Trash Pile. She does it all by herself,
Yep.
Yeah.
and
Yep.
she's very
She's
successful.
rocking. She's
Yeah.
killing
She is
it.
rocking it. Yeah, she is killing it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's episode 4 of the podcast. We had
Mhm.
Taylor on. You can.
Yeah, she's
Yeah.
a beautiful soul. I love her so much.
Yeah, Taylor's
She's
great.
my girl.
Yeah, I got
She is
some
my
customs.
girl.
I got some customs from her. She's
Yeah,
great.
we did.
Yeah.
We did a collab with her, and she brought in
That's
the
right. Yeah, that's right.
stuff, and then sold it. And she's like, they sold great. I'm like, that's awesome. I would have never thought hey, let's collab. And she's like, hey, I want to use your stuff. I'm like, cool, let's go.
That's the
What can I do
beautiful
to help you
part.
out and
Yeah.
everything? That's one of the best parts about the whole community.
Mhm.
It's very funny because it's the conversations we all have with each other at different shows. And like,
Mhm.
it's, we might not see you every weekend. We might not see you every month, but it's like, hey, what have you guys been up to? How's it going? Like this. And then like all of a sudden it's like, we're setting up and then like we're just walking through, or then like, we'll see like middle of the day, like, hey, like checking out, like, and how's the day going? And it's just that like friendship that built from just having the conversation. And we say it here all the time. It's with people, we all are suffering the same way when we put ourselves in these positions to go to the shows, and like we're out in the cold, we're out in the rain, we're like dealing with customers, but we love it. Like, and you guys said you guys don't want to go back. Kind of thing. I don't want to go back to a normal situation. Like Chrissy, like she had her whole situation, and it was same with you. She's like, I'm gonna quit. I'm like, okay, we got this.
Yeah.
Let's do this. Let's figure it out. And then like when I got let go, it was like, let's go hard. Let's
That's literally
go.
what happened to us. Yeah, he got let go, and he was like,
COVID,
"Okay."
And I was like,
well,
cool.
I gotta.
I'm like, I have to go make salsa anyway, so I gotta go.
Yeah.
And we've been.
That's so funny.
That's funny.
Yeah.
I got a severance package to walk away, and I'm like,
cool.
I know what I'm doing. Like, this is easy. Like, we were already starting doing that. We were already like putting ourselves out there. We were already doing this thing. I'm like, well, I now have the opportunity to really spend the time that I've been wanting to get to the next step of this.
Right.
Yep.
And so then it's like, okay, great. We can make these moves and everything. And it is scary. It is there is like, okay, well, we got bills to pay. Like what are we selling? And kind of what are we getting?
The change in the couch.
Yeah.
I'm like, you find the quarter?
I'm like, we've done that maybe once or twice.
Yeah. The dollar menu and at the fast food place.
Well, we can share a large Friday night.
But like those sacrifices, we'll continue to make those sacrifices because like in the end, we're doing what we love. And I like making salsa. Did you growing up, did you guys think I'm gonna be my own business owner and like run like salsa?
I didn't even think I'd make it past like 21. So I was like, honestly.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't think I'd make it past 25 either. But like, I used to make keychains and sell them when I was younger, and I would I would sell like I did stuff like I had entrepreneurial spirit, as they say. Like I would buy breadstick from Pizza Hut, and then I would sling them for a few bucks, and then I'd have enough to buy like 10 more, and then I would do it. I would just keep doing it, and then I would just save. So like, there was definitely like inklings where I was getting shown like you could do this, but I don't think until I got older it was like, this is what you should be doing. I thought I'd be a lawyer, or I went to school for like criminal psychology and stuff like that. So I thought I'd be doing like catching serial killers, but no, we cut up tomatoes and onions and garlic.
Yeah, I see people from high school all the time. They'll come to the market and just surprise me, and I'm all, ooh, don't do that. But they'll like come and they'll be like, "You're doing salsa," and I'm all, "Yeah, dude, I don't know." Like I'm good at it. I don't know. I've always been a hard worker, like George said. Like he's always been really good at like business and like had the entrepreneurial spirit, and I do too. But I'm really good at working. I'm a really good worker at every job I've had.
It's a really good duo you guys got, and like you guys can work off of each other and kind of grow from that point.
And it's like it almost was meant to be for all of this to happen. And so I'm just gonna keep trusting the process. I'm just gonna keep, if it wasn't meant to be, then why am I here? I don't know. That's how I feel. But
I love that. And I have to like piggyback real fast on like your desire to be there for your daughter, because I have to say, like, since we've had Juniper, like it just feels like the best feeling in the world to be able to be like, I get to be home with her. Like I get to do this job, I get to do this life, and I get to be doing it with her. So I love that so much. And I love that she's like at market with you guys, and
we got
like,
market children.
Exactly.
But it is a hard sacrifice that we have to do sometimes. It's certain things that have, and it's days where you go, man, like I really would like to sleep in this morning, but I've got to go set up at 7:00 in the morning to get up. Like, but then at the end of the day, I'm like, I feel really good about what we did.
Yep.
Oh yeah.
Kind of thing.
Like you drive home and you're just thinking like, man, that was a good day.
Cool.
Like,
cool.
Yeah.
like like I gotta talk to people.
Yeah.
Like I gotta talk to people.
So we were at Craft Sabbath this past weekend and doing that show for Small Business Saturday.
Yep.
And the thing that sticks in my head about it, I had people buying cameras, some of my vintage cameras that I had, but I saw one guy came in, he bought the camera, and then he was a friend of another booth, and he sat on a chair like right in front of the booth, like just a couple things over, and he just pulls it out of the bag, and he's got this big smile on his face. He's so stoked about it. And I'm like, I made that happen because I was able to find these resources and put this in, and then like just happened by weird, crazy situation. He walks in and buys the camera, but it was like, he was so stoked. He's like pulling it open. It was like a folding camera. And he's like, I'm like, that's cool. This, like, it was, I think I made $15 off of the camera. Like that, nothing crazy. I'm not becoming like the next Bill Gates rich off of it. But I'm like, that kind of enjoyment. I left the show going, that was the day. That was the whole day for that kind of thing. What has been one of your guys' best experience with some of your customers?
There's been a lot.
There's so many.
I was gonna say the one that I always tell people is there was this one time I was at the Ogden Farmers Market and this kid came up to me and he had a picture of our salsa on his phone. He was like, "Is this your salsa?" And I was like, "Yeah, it is." And he was like, "Do you have a mango habanero one?" I was like, "Yes, I do." And he was like, and then he started crying, and I was like,
Whoa.
"What? Like, are you okay?" Like, it was just so weird. And he was like, well, so my grandma just died, and one of my last memories with her was we were bonding over your mango habanero salsa, and I wanted to get it and take it to her grave and eat it. And unfortunately, I was sold out. And I told him to come back. I don't know if he ever did, because I did have people working for me. I don't know if he ever come back, but I was like, "Come back and I will give you one."
Yeah.
Like, and he was just crying, and I was like, that is so special that you guys bonded over something I spent hours making.
I'm tearing up.
Yeah, like I was like, that is amazing. And that's not been the only time we've had people tell us that they've fought over the last bit, like they've put water in it, shook it, like they were like,
make it last a little longer,
I don't know, like, and so I think that's really cool. Is like, I think about all of the experiences that people are having, even just like our salsa in the fridge, and they're just like bonding and having family time. Like, I just think that's cool. I get to be a part of every person's life because I'm in their fridge, like because I sat there and I made it with my hands, and they enjoy it. Like I like, you're tearing up. I cry almost every time I leave the farmer's market.
She calls me crying all the time.
I'm like, I can't believe how many people have ate my salsa that I made with my hands. Yeah. Like, that's crazy. Or how many people support us. Like, will come up to us and I don't even know who they are, and they're like, "I love your salsa," and I was like, "Oh, thank you." And like, I don't know, like, that's cool. Like, that is cool.
It is still so weird for me. Christy, we have the same experience where people come in here like, "I have this," or we bought this from you last year, and I'm like, why? Like, what it's been boggled, and like, there's an enjoyment that they have from it. But like, the salsa, man, geez, the grandma,
I know. When he was like, when he started crying, I was like, I don't know what to do right now. Because I'm not a very emotional person. But I was like, dang, that made me really emotional. I was like, oh my God, like, that's so sweet. And I'm so glad that like, I've got to be a part of your family's life in that way, So I don't know. And I have friends, like, all of my friends now are people because of salsa, because of this. Like, nothing but good has came out of this. And I am so grateful, and we are so, so blessed to be able to do this and have the friends that we have and have the community that we have and have the support that we have. Because I know that if I like post on Instagram that I need help, there's going to be so many people to run to help me. And it's only because we decided to make salsa 4 years ago.
Yeah, we have Charm Mountain, like, when we had Juniper, she's like, calls and like, "Hey, we're gonna bring over some dinner," and I'm like, you don't have to do that. Like, and it's just like, we don't do like, okay, I'm gonna truth here and everything. Like, we do the podcast just because we're making friends. That's it. Like, like, you guys are now friends. Like that. Like, you guys have made that, but like, we're not doing any of this with any like intention of a return from anybody. Like, we just like having conversations. Like, the more and more we have these conversations with like you guys and anybody else on here, it is one of those situations where we're like, we're just like if we were hanging out at the pizza parlor. Kind of
we're just
like,
talking.
there's just no food in front of us, kind of thing.
You're just giving everybody a platform to tell their story and to tell why we started this, especially for the customers that won't buy from us and don't know our story yet. They can just watch your podcast. Yeah. For everybody that's been on here too. I was telling him, I was like, this is so cool. Like, because we've talked about doing a podcast like this, and then I found out you're doing it, and I was like, that's amazing. Like, that's what like this needs. The community needs, the like market scene needs, is like a place for people to go and like tell their story, because we don't get to do that very much, you know.
Yeah.
People just come up and pass by my booth. I'm all, hey, you want to try some salsa? And they don't even look at me. I'm all, okay, rude. I'm all, you know. But like the people that actually stop and actually hear my story, like, because I'll just start talking because I'm a talker, and so I'll just start talking. I tell them my whole story, and yeah, I really am.
We know.
And I like tell them our whole story, and then I'm done, and I'm all, I just talked for like 15 minutes straight, and they're all, that's amazing. And I was like, thank you. Like, I feel like it's just inspiring, and I want to inspire people. I want people to be their best self. Like in every, like if you're in my life, I'm going to sit here and I'm going to be like, you can do this.
I want to hear the success stories that people have. Like I really do. Like I don't care if we stay at this level forever kind of thing. I really want to continue to see the people who I like meet and like see them continue to grow and build and like, wow, like holy crap, you're doing that now. Like that's insane. Like your
like
salsa.
I want people to like live the life that they want to live. Like whatever it is. If it's not like making things and selling things, that's not for everybody. That's fine. But like be living the way you want to live your life.
I want everyone to be happy.
So I forget what show it was we were at. It might have been Jam Fest. You were talking about
Marmalade,
and you were talking about like in that week you had a deal that you were, or you were a meeting that you were potentially getting to the next store kind of thing. And so it's one of those like, I'm like, oh shit, that's pretty cool. Like it's like one of those like, okay, whether it goes forward or not, like just that you're getting your foot in that door is big kind of thing. And that's the stuff I love hearing. And like when it like, okay, maybe that one didn't work out, but there's the next one. How do I take on, like you learn from it. You, like we talked, you fail sometimes, you make mistakes, but as if you do not get discouraged and just keep pushing and keep going through, it is going to work out. We had Mason from the Hive tattoo parlor on here, and he's talking about it's like, if you stop at 39 and the success was at 40 kind of thing, like 49 try or 40 tries, like you're doing yourself a disservice. Like, and so like a year of like figuring out how it's all going to make, you've done, I don't know, hundreds of salsas and like going through the motions and seeing that like you found the right one. And like, yes, you make it sound like 30 minutes was very easy and he had a miracle like salsa, but it was all these other things that came into play with it and like help that be a little bit easier. It's no different than we try some of the stuff that we do here. It's like I've printed a ton of t-shirts, but like because I failed at a ton of t-shirts before I started getting them right kind of thing. So it's that success that needs to, like, what you guys are living is the hard everyday work of being a business owner. And what people don't realize is that there's a lot of that effort that goes in. It's a lot of sacrifices. It's a lot of time, late nights, no sleep, worried about like each month kind of thing in those kind of situations. But like you guys are now at this point of like that success, and it's not any easier. And what are you guys averaging like show wise per week in peak season? Like, is it 3 shows you're doing a week? Is it like 4 shows? Like
four a weekend.
4 to 6.
4 a weekend. 4 to 6. Because if there's any pop-ups or anything, we definitely handle. But like we do the Salt Lake Farmers Market, Ogden Farmers Market, Wheeler Farmers Market, and then we do the Brighton Farmers Market. And then if there's any pop-up shows between that, we do it.
I sample out the stores that we're at.
So we're just constantly going. We don't really have much of a social life. We try.
What's that?
Exactly. My thing is like, like if I keep going, maybe one day I can have a social life. Maybe one day I'll be successful enough that I can just, be the boss that's like,
we met
not
in
there all the
Hawaii.
time.
I mean, to be fair, your social life is at the market,
and
like with all us a market friend.
It is.
And that is
That's why I talk so much.
Well, I think it was like a couple markets ago that like Dude and I came, Derek, did set up. Dude and I came, and I kind of felt bad because I realized I drove home and I was like, I think I was in our booth for like a total of like 20 minutes, and I spent the rest of the time like walking around talking to all my friends at the market.
She does
that.
I do that. That's why we try.
I'll turn and she'll be gone.
We try not to do the markets together because we end up fighting over who left the booth more.
I needed a break.
I'm like, I went to the bathroom.
I was like, I need to go to the bathroom.
I'm like,
Or
"You
like
need to go to the
if our
bathroom?"
daughter's there, like one of us is with her,
Mhm.
and then I'm like, well, I can't get mad. You're entertaining the child,
Someone has
so
to be
I
a
can't get
parent,
mad at you.
Yeah.
But so like,
That's my excuse. I was taking Juniper around.
yeah, exactly. She needs to see things. No, but yeah. Yeah. I do love, I think that's the one thing though. I love working with George. I think it would be hard for some people to work with their spouse, but I love it. I do. We do fight, but we're one of those, we've been together for almost 10 years now. So it's like one of those things, like we fight, but we get over it so quick. I don't know how else anybody, like how everyone else is, but like me and him will argue. And then the next minute I'm like, okay, so what are we doing? Like, you know,
So
and
this
like,
is the plan. This is
yeah.
what
So
we
like, I think
do. 'Cause
that's
it's like business, but then there's us. You know what I mean?
yeah,
Yeah.
like it's like
Yeah.
we're pretty good at balancing it. It's lots of trial and error in our relationship, but also like in the business, trying to keep it separate, but also it has to be the same. I don't know. That's one thing is just like me and George work really, really well together.
Yeah.
Yeah, we do.
We have been together. We'll be 20 years in
I was
like
gonna
2
say
weeks.
no,
I
next
think.
week.
What?
Next
Our
week?
anniversary is next week.
20 years.
Yeah. Yeah.
How
Yes.
old are you? Sorry. I'm sorry. Sorry. I didn't mean to be rude. I just wanna
You
know
got
how
together at 10? You're 13?
old- I was like 9.
We've been together since we're 17, so we are 37.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's cool.
That's
You guys
cool.
look
High
so
school.
good.
Well, thank you so much. I mean, we
Moisturizer?
Did you
Yeah.
guys grow up here in Utah?
we
No,
did not.
no.
We moved out here 5 years ago, and the same exact thing you guys are expressing with the entrepreneur like mindset and like how it allows us to. We could have never done this in California. Like
Right.
this is the reality of what it was. Is we were because of what the choices we've made, and like we made that conversation with each other. Like we want things to happen for us. We need to make a change in what we're doing, and by making that move here. Oh my God, it like skyrocketed like so fast for us with the things. And like we've run our businesses. We've run like I've run a production studio, and we've gone through all these things. We have all this like
I've
experience.
had multiple Etsy shops.
Yeah.
I think I was
Oh,
selling
cool.
bracelets in elementary school too. Like
Yeah.
Oh, yeah? Cool.
Heck yeah.
making those friendship bracelets.
So like it was that whole thing, but like it just always felt like we were always playing catch up with trying to get started. And then, like when we got here, it was, hey, we're playing catch up to just get our life together, figuring it out kind of thing. But then it was like, oh, we're 6 months into this, and like we've got a pretty good handle. Oh, you want to quit? Oh, yeah. That there was not a, oh shit, is this a bad idea? Is this like there? We were in our heads probably going like, oh man, God, we're gonna be terrified.
Terrified.
Yeah.
But it was also like, no, let's do this, and like let's keep doing this, and let's keep growing and going with that. So we do work very well together. We do have the same like kind of thing. We could be upset with each other, and then it's like, hey, I have this idea for a costume that like I think.
Yeah.
I
I'm
always like think
okay,
of like
well,
I always think of like, you know, it's like we kind of I think both recognize that there's a bigger picture. It's like, yeah, okay, I'm mad at you in this moment, but like I'm gonna forget about this fight in like honestly an hour, the way I remember things these days.
Maybe
But
10
like
minutes.
Yeah.
it's like
We're fighting about
this
what?
is
What?
exactly.
No, I'm like, I don't even know why I was mad at you. I'm sorry.
Exactly.
I'm like, I don't
exactly.
even
It's
know.
like this isn't going to be important in an hour, 2 hours.
What's important
a
is
day.
we get this done. We got to get this
yeah,
done.
we got
right
this.
now.
to
I
I
go.
know I'm
Yeah.
so sensitive, and George is so blunt, and so he'll say stuff, and I'll just be like, I will give him the silent treatment. He's like, you need to talk to me, okay? I'm sorry. I was like, fine. Yeah, I love it though. It's been fun. It's been fun. Having employees is fun. Doing the whole thing is fun. Like we got our own kitchen at the beginning of this year in January, and so like that's been okay. It's been a very I don't know, very learning experience there, and that's why George was saying this past year has been working on our infrastructure. Oh my god!
Infrastructure?
Thank you. I don't know why I can say that.
Teamwork.
But anyway, exactly. But anyways, more than out. I feel like the first 3 years was
It builds
more of
awareness, build our
building
brand.
a brand, and now it's more building the insides. And so
I feel like we're kind of in a similar spot
Yeah.
with like we were like doing all, and now it's like let's focus on like us like trying to get the right things that we're doing, making the choices about who we are. Like art is a rebellion for us. Like that's a new thing for us. That kind of like it's a soul like thing for us. It's like we get to rebel every day against the norm. We don't want to be the norm. We want to like rebel against what people want to put on us, kind of thing.
yeah.
And so because that making art is not the norm. Like that's the thing we are always going to rebel against, kind of thing. But I want to get back a little bit on topic here about, because you guys are one of the first people we've had on the show that have actually expanded like into like multiple shows that are that have employees and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
When was that decision that like, hey, we have to buy multiple tents, we have to buy multiple coolers, we have to go through all this stuff, and like your inventory goes up every weekend? Like it's not just like, hey, we're doing one show and like, great, we have inventory. It's like, no, we're doing 4 shows. We have to 4x our inventory. You guys can't be in 4 places at one time, so you guys have to get employees. When did that like decision like come into play? Like what made that like, hey, I need to make that next jump?
I think there was a point where we're like doing everything ourselves and we're running ourselves ragged. And she was always at the kitchen just working, and then when she was at home, I was always working, and we never really had a break to even like focus on our daughter. And I was like, well, we need to, that's what we're doing this for, you know. And yes, we could do all these markets, and we were doing everything fine ourselves, but we got a little bit bigger where more people were inviting us places, and I'm like, okay, well, we're supposed to be at 4 places at one time, and she was always paying for stuff, or we'd already pay ahead of time because we were like, yeah, let's do it. And we weren't really the best about scheduling, you know, so
double booking.
Yeah, so we'd be like, oh, you know, and I'm like, you know what, this is ruining our reputation. This is ruining what we've already built. We can't keep doing this. So either we had to change a few things. And so we got to the point where I was like, if we bring in 1 or 2 other people, you know, they can help us do the extra market. And they can help you in the kitchen if needed, and that's kind of how it happened. So it's, you know, not a lot of people, but just enough that we can still keep the quality. And
right. And I think what also helped us a lot was George got accepted into the Goldman Sachs small business program. Okay. It's like a 3-month program that teaches you all about business, and it's free, but you have to qualify for it and you have to apply for it. And George got picked, and so that really, really helped us. Like, and we learned about it because we were a part of Utah Owns, which Utah Owns is for food companies, and you can be a part of it, and they'll put you on their website, and that's how we've gotten a lot of recognition. You could put their stuff on your their logo on your like products and all that. But so George went to the Goldman Sachs program, and they taught him a lot about like, why are you sitting here frying chips when you could pay somebody to go and fry those chips? Mm-hmm. Like, you know, like I can do 100% of the work, but if I have 2 people, this one's doing, you know, 60, this one's doing 60, and I'm doing 60, that's more than 100%, you know, like, so that's like helped a lot with the employees helping us during the summertime. But where we've hit a wall is winter's so slow that it's almost like we're almost a seasonal job, you know. So now that it's winter, I just do everything because it's easier and, you know, cheaper and all of that. So our goal eventually is to be able just to be all year round employing, because that's what we want to be. Our main goal is to employ people, because I want people to have a good working environment. I want people to love their job and love their boss. But also, it's me and George want to eventually become like almost like a nonprofit type of thing, where we give like people their first tent to start their business. We want to be able to pay for their tables, or like, you know, like almost like a grant opportunity.
You want to continue to build the community.
Exactly. Like, because that's how we got our freedom. That's how we got what we love to do. I want you to be able to do that too. And most people, where they're stuck is, well, I can't pay
money, or
you know, like our tents were like $1,800, and it's because it's a branded tent. That's a lot of money. You can't, you know, like just pull that out of your
like
butt.
You do that. You do the math of like how many shows. Of like, I'm making $300 a show. Damn, I've got 6 shows before I even just pay off my tent. That's not even including the materials to like actually sell stuff,
myself,
kind of
booth fees,
and the booth fees and all the other stuff. So
yeah.
it can be very daunting with that. And then there's alternative options kind of thing. You don't always have to start off. Did you guys start with a branded tent off the bat?
No.
Yeah.
No. We went through, I think, like 7.
Went through like 20. Yeah. There was one year where I bought, I think, like 12 tents.
No, I'm not even kidding.
Not even 12 to 15. We were doing so many markets, and then they would,
I don't know.
and the
like,
elements, and they would rip or break or snap, and I was like, we've spent so much money on these. I might as well just spend one more time and buy a durable professional tent.
And so we saved up for it, and we got 2.
I used a lot of
Now that's our next goal, is maybe saving up and getting like
some
2 more.
Yeah. And so
all of our employees during the summertime fight over if they get the fancy tablecloth or not.
So
I'm like, I'm sorry, I'm trying.
but yeah, but having employees has definitely helped. It's definitely helped us recognize that to be able to grow, that you need to have employees.
You need
to
to have
do that.
support.
You need
Yeah.
to have support, and so I'm like, yeah, we can grow like ourselves, but in order for us to reach and do what we want to do, to help the community, ourselves, and our team, then we need to create a good team and bring more people in to do that.
Yeah, we have this past year. It's been a realization of like, hey, you know what? We can do this. It doesn't mean we have to do this. Let's outsource this and get these things. Like we can make our own custom tags here, and we've done it on certain things. But like, oh my God, if I just spent X amount of dollars on this, they ship in, and then I'm not spending this much time on it. I can focus on something else.
Right.
And so there is those like give or takes, and sometimes it's going to cost a little bit, but then as your experience and everything, you go, okay, well, if my stickers, I'm making all my stickers here, but if I outsource them, now my price goes up. How much can I increase my price a little bit and still be in a position I feel comfortable selling a sticker for, kind of thing. So we are learning those day by day, experience by show kind of thing, like what makes them. The toughest thing, like we're in a couple shows that are smaller in size for us. So like we have so much stuff in our booth, and it's like, how do we fit everything in half the size booth now? Because what that opens our opportunities for is like, okay, well, all these shows we were kind of like passing up on because it was like, oh, we don't have the space, the 10 by 10. Like, well, if we do it and we do a 5 by 5 booth or whatever, well, crap. We just made more this weekend than we would have if we just passed up on the show. Kind of thing. And so learning those little bits in here, like, okay, how much stuff moves here, how much it makes sense. It's a constant learning curve. And it's like, it only comes from experience. And like how we talk, just do it. Just get out there and do it kind of thing. Yeah. We are hitting our time. Yeah. That conversation went very like quick. And so it's great. I love every bit about what you guys are doing and building up. I want to make sure everybody out there who's listening, watching, however they're consuming the show, has an opportunity to either see you guys in person at a show, or if they're not local to say, I know you guys sell online. So where can they find all that information?
So saucedupsalsa.com. You find out, we deliver, we ship, we have subscriptions, the freeze dry's on there, everything's on there. December, 12 days of Christmas is coming up, so every day is a new discount. It's automatically applied, and that'll be on there. And then we're at the downtown Salt Lake Market. We do Ogden when it starts. We're at
our Instagram is Sauced Up Salsa official, not Sauced Up Salsa. Don't follow that one.
Yeah.
So it's official.
It's official. Sauced Up Salsa official on Instagram and Facebook, and then we promote and post, and you can ask questions.
You can Google us, Sauced Up Salsa.
You can Google. Because some people are like, "Well, can I Google?" Yeah, you can. You can Google.
And it will pull up all of like the news articles we've been in. George has been on the news like more times than I can count, just because they always are like, "Do you want to come on the news?" George is like, sure. So you can find all of our stuff on Google.
So you can find stuff, read about us, and then if you want to come meet us, you come see us at a market. Yeah, we like to provide a quality entertainment and good experience for people, and you get to try salsa. So.
Awesome. Thank you guys so much.
Yeah, thanks for having us.
Guys. Yeah, thanks for having us.
We appreciate you guys coming down and having this conversation with us. Guys, go check out their stuff. Sauced Up Salsa. Go find them at shows. They're everywhere. Like literally, I'm like, I don't think we've been a weekend where we haven't like, seen that kind of thing. But go check it out and do what you're supposed to do. Comment, like, subscribe, do all the things. Continue to grow the community. If there are artists, culinary artists, like different media artists, different materials, all the different art forms that are out there.
What? That was strange.
Weird audio thing, guys. Guys, sorry, there's a quick little audio glitch in there, but like, do what you guys are supposed to do. Like, comment, subscribe. Let us know if there's any local artists that you guys think should be on the show that want to have the conversation with us. But we'll see you guys on the next episode. Bye.
Thanks. Bye.